Hello, everybody. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending on what part of the world you're joining us from. And welcome to your fortnightly edition of Collective Consciousness, streaming live to you here at Spiritual Psychics TV via YouTube and Facebook. It's lovely to have your company once again. Please do let me know who it is that's joining the show this evening, and please do let me know if you are a first-time viewer as well, because I'd love to give you a shout out and an acknowledgement. As I have said, we are streaming live to you via Facebook and YouTube, so there is approximately a 10 to 15 second time delay when you place your comments to us receiving and vice versa. So patience is a virtue there, folks. And as all of you regular viewers will know, you know exactly what I'm going to say next. Please do share Spiritual Psychics TV out there onto all of your personal social media pages, or indeed any spiritual pages that you feel this show may be of relevance to. If you're watching via Facebook, it's so easy to do. All you've got to do is just hit that share button below, and it will allow you to paste that out there to all of the relevant pages. And if you're watching via YouTube, it's the swirly arrow icon that just sits in the graphic bar below, which enables you to copy and paste accordingly. So producer Richard, who is it that we've got joining us here this evening? Let me say a few hellos to some of the lovelies that are joining Collective Consciousness live here on Spiritual Psychics TV UK. So we've got lovely Lisa Sears who joins via YouTube, saying hiya to you, Lisa. Thank you for holding space. And Linda Leatham Healy is saying, hi, I'm a newbie on here. Well, you are very welcome, Linda. Thank you for being here and holding space. Serena Galvin is also a first-time viewer to the channel, and you're watching by YouTube. So Serena, thank you so much for joining us here this evening. I hope you are well. We've got the lovely Linda Wallace who joins us via Facebook, saying, hi, Bill, I'm from Croydon. Hiya, Linda. Thank you for holding space, my lovely. And you've also shared. You get a sweetie out the sweetie jar, Linda, straight away. God bless you. Thank you for sharing us out there. We've got the lovely June Malkin who's saying, good evening, lovely Bill, and everyone on chat. Good evening, lovely June. And you are joining us via YouTube, along with Sharon Davis, who joins via Facebook, saying hi, and popping up two beautiful purple love hearts there, sharing the love. Thank you, Sharon. It's lovely to have you holding space. Mary Beatty Kosh is checking in from Nebraska, USA. How fantastic is that? Thank you so much for joining and holding space, Mary. Liz Darvell Middleton is also joining via YouTube, saying hiya, Bill. Hello to you, Liz. I will be bringing my guest medium onto screen in a short while, folks, because I want to introduce the lovely Alice Trevorrow to you. But before I do, I'm just going to do a few more acknowledgements, and then we'll have a chat with Alice and see what it is that she's been up to and what it is that she does. We've got the lovely Terry Louise saying, good evening, Bill, Alice and Richard. Good evening to you, Terry. Hope you're well. Thank you for holding space, along with the lovely Christine Davis, who joins via YouTube. Hi to you, Christine. I hope you're keeping well. And Hayley Goodwin, you were saying good evening, Bill, Richard, and good evening, good day to everybody else that's in the chat, joining via YouTube. Thank you for holding space, Hayley. I will come back and give a few more acknowledgements to you in a short while, guys. But as I say, I'd like to introduce our lovely guest medium who's sharing the virtual platform with me here this evening on Spiritual Psychics TV. And with that said, producer Richard, would you kindly bring Mrs. Trevorrow onto screen, please? Hello, Alice. How are you?
Hello. Hi there. I'm called Mrs. Trevorrow. I've not been called that for a while.
Have you not? Well,
no,
Mrs. Trevorrow, thank you very much for holding space and joining Collective Consciousness here this evening. I'm absolutely thrilled and honoured to be able to share the virtual platform with somebody who I perceive to be heaps spiritualism.
Oh, thank you so much. It's an absolute pleasure to be on tonight. And thank you for inviting me onto the show, Bill. Thank you.
Bless you. Now, Alice, before we get started here this evening, I think it's a good idea to engage with the viewers and tell them a little bit about yourself. So
yes.
What is it that you do, Mrs. Trevorrow? Tell everybody.
You make me feel old, Mrs. Trevorrow. Where's that old woman? Yeah. Okay, so who am I? What do I do? Where did I come from? Okay. Yeah. Well, as you know, I live in Scotland, and I am the founder and manager of Sparkle of Light Spiritual Centre in Scotland, and the Spiritual School for Mediums as well. So this all developed about 7 years ago now, and we're now in new premises that I feel more comfortable with. It's more a little bit more upmarket, and great energy in the building, and some lovely people as well. So yeah, so we run this centre, and we have a service once a month, a spiritual service once a month. We do charity events as well throughout the year. We do workshops, coaching, we have some holistic things that go on there too, and what's coming up actually is our summer fair. So that's going to be next week. So we do that once a year, and we have lots of holistic stalls, and private readings go on there as well. And my son does the bouncy castle outside for the children, so the mums can enjoy their little shopping in peace.
What a fantastic idea. And I'm sure that people, if interested, will be able to find out all the relevant details by visiting the website or Facebook page.
Yes, it is. It's Sparkle of Light Spiritual Centre. It's on Facebook, or Alice Psychic Medium on Facebook or Instagram. My website at the moment is getting updated, so my daughter's doing that at the moment. So, but it would be www.sparklelight.com, but it's just getting updated at the moment. So that should be up and running probably next week again. So yeah, so I'm easy contactable. I'm easy found. Yeah,
absolutely. And I know that we do have one of your Facebook profile links that producer Richard is popping in just on the graphics that everybody can see whilst we're broadcasting live during this stream. So guys, do make a note of giving Alice's page a like and a follow. And if you live up in Scotland, folks, then hey ho, it might be worth a while checking out what's going on, and go along and grab yourself a few bargains and drop the kids off at the bouncy castle on that. So how long have you been in spiritualism? How long have you been consciously, spiritually aware?
Since I was a child. I was, really? I must have been about 3 years of age. Wow. Yeah, I was about 3 years of age. I can actually remember it very vividly. And I can remember waking up in the cot, and it was like, where am I? Why am I here? And who are these people? Do you know, in my head, I can still remember saying all this. Who are these people? I didn't like where I was. And all I could think about was I wanted to go back home. And I can remember as a child crying and crying. But the reason was I wanted to go back home. And I didn't like where I was. I didn't know these people, which was my mum and dad. Obviously, I got to love my mum and dad. But at that time, I didn't like where I was, and I wanted to go back home. And I felt that for quite some time. And even when I was 4 actually when I went to school, because that's the way it worked then. And I can remember even going to school and thinking, I don't like these people. I don't feel safe here. I don't want to be here. Why can't I go home? And my mum would say, well, you'll be home soon. But she didn't understand what I meant. I meant I wanted to go home. I didn't know where home was, but I knew it wasn't there. Do you know? And this went on for quite a little while. And then I had all these imaginary friends who weren't really imaginary friends. And of course, I was told I had a vivid imagination. And it went from there where I actually had a good relationship with my spirit friends, but not so much the friends I had at school. I only had maybe 1 or 2 friends at school, but I didn't fit in. I just wasn't fitting in. And so my mum took me out of that school into another school, and I felt really bad because I still wasn't fitting in this school either. And I couldn't understand it. You know, people didn't seem to want to get to know me. That, you know, I'd be called weird. You know, and maybe I was in their eyes, you know, because they could feel something different maybe about me, but they didn't know what I was. So I was weird, you know, so I can understand it more now. But as a child growing up in primary school, it was horrific, you know. So I went on from there, and then I went to high school, and then I was about 16, and my gran hadn't long passed, and but I used to see my grandfather lots of times. I seen my grandfather, but my grandfather had actually died when I was 2. But I knew him, and I could point him out in pictures and say, "Well, that's Grandad," and that I knew him very well. And so, cut the long story short, I went when I was 16, and I sat in a circle there for a couple of years. It was Mrs. Primrose's circle. I sat up in Berkeley Street in Glasgow, and I got 2 private readings from Albert Best, the medium, and I know everyone had raved about Albert Best, and I was so excited for this reading. And my mum had one, and she said, "Oh, he was just amazing." But when I went in, he told me things I didn't understand, you know, because I was going down a professional dance career at the time for Latin American and ballroom, and I was moving down south, and he's telling me this is all going to stop, and I would come back home when I was about 21, and that relationship will stop, but you will meet someone else, and your dancing will finish then, he said. But you're going to go into nursing, he said, because you are a medium, and you're going to be working on a platform, you're going to be demonstrating on a platform, and you're going to be serving for spirit world. And so he told me lots of things, and I came away, and before I left, he actually said to me, "I want you to remember everything I'm telling you." This was the second reading. He said, "Because we won't meet again." But he said, "We will meet spiritually."
Yeah.
I left there thinking, and God forgive me, Albert, you know, I thought, this man's weird, you know. I'm not going to be a medium. I'm not going to be standing up on a platform, and I knew what I was going to do, and the next time I'll meet him is when he's in spirit world. I thought, no, this is just weird. But everything he told me, everything, personal things as well that he told me, and how to cope with it when it happened, etc., and who my guide was, and things like that, was spot on, absolutely spot on. And he works with me today. He still works with me. In fact, not all the time, but I actually got a reading the other night. It was yesterday actually, and it was online, and the lady who was online on Spiritual Talk TV says, "Do you know Albert?" And I was like, "Oh, here he is."
Absolutely.
You know, here he is, you know. So it kind of progressed from there, and then from that I did I lived down south. I sat in a circle down there, and then later on I was doing all my nursing career, and I would go back up and down for years to the Arthur Findlay College, and then I did some mentorship work with Andy Bing and Paul Jacobs as well after that, and I did a little bit with Chris Drew, so, and a little bit with Phil Dykes, you know. Wow. But my main part was actually with Andy at the very beginning, and then Paul kind of took over from there, and I'm very grateful for the actual teaching I got from all of them, because there is discipline needed in mediumship. you know, and you don't realise that. You don't realise that when you're just learning. But in saying that, Bill, your best teachers are spirit world, you know, and they'll never let you down. They'll never let you down, you know.
Even no matter how many times before we go live, before we stand up on a public platform and do a demonstration and our belly's twisting in knots and we feel physically sick, they never let you down. You're absolutely right there. For some reason, they just step in and they just take over. What an amazing journey you've had. Thank you so much for sharing that. It was really, really interesting to listen to. Shall we, before we get started, say a few hellos to some of these lovelies that are joining us here today?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, as you're our guest, why don't you start first?
Okay, Gillian Baker has just put off a comment. Yes, trust in spirit, she says. Yeah, absolutely, Gillian, absolutely, because they'll never let you down. They'll never let you down. And sometimes, you know, when you go for a reading as well, you may not get what you want, but you'll get what you need. You know?
Absolutely, that's right. They step in and give you just what it is that you need to hear at that specific moment in time. We're also joined here by the lovely Glenda Marie, psychic medium, watching via Facebook, saying hello, gorgeous friends. Hello to you, my lovely. Thank you for being here and holding space, probably at about 5 a.m. Australian time in the morning. What are you doing up so early, Glenda?
Oh, there's Nolene Defree. Hello from South Africa. Hello. Yeah.
Laurie Garner joins us from Texas. How amazing is this? We are reaching all the different corners of Earth at this particular time tonight.
It's lovely, though. So lovely to communicate with a world like this.
Yeah, we're very fortunate. Who else have we got joining us? We've got lovely Matthew Owens, who is saying good evening, both from Cardiff. Good evening to you, Matthew. Thank you for holding space.
Oh, Debbie Kerr. I booked the mediums for our church at Kirkwyn Church. Okay, all right. Hi, Debbie.
Hi, Debbie. Thank you for being here and holding space with us. Lisa Gorman saying hello from Ireland. Hello from the United Kingdom and Scotland this evening, Lisa. Thank you for holding space and being here with us.
Oh, Amy Mann, hello from Oregon. Hello and welcome, Amy.
And Lacey Reed is saying hello from Delaware, USA. So we've got lots of overseas guests joining us here this evening, Alice, which is absolutely lovely. So thank you guys for being here and holding space.
Yeah, because there will be a time difference, you know, so it's nice that they are joining. And Jan Burnham, I'm from Essex in UK. Welcome, Jan.
Welcome, Jan. And lastly, we've got Kerry Susan Millins, who is saying hi from Derby. Hi to you, Kerry. Thank you for holding space. We will give a few more acknowledgements as we progress throughout this evening's show. But just to let all of you new first-time viewers know a little bit about Collective Consciousness. Collective Consciousness is a show that's purely dedicated to mediumship, where myself and my guest medium share the virtual platform. And as you heard, we're both situated in two very different parts of the United Kingdom. With Collective Consciousness, what we aim to do is conjoin and blend our mediumistic energies, our guide teams, our inspirers, and deliver a message to one of you lovely recipients joining us here this evening. And as we know with mediumship, it is an experiment. So if it works, it works. And if it doesn't, it just means we've got two people having two separate readings. So what we're going to do is get producer Richard to randomise all of your lovely names and comments. And myself and Alice will go to whomever it is that we feel a draw, a pull, or a connection to, or indeed who we are being directed by spirit to work with. So keep your comments flowing, guys. Don't make them repetitive. Just a heads up, don't make them repetitive, because Facebook can sometimes detect that and perceive it as spamming, and then you can be blocked. So just make sure that you are changing your comments as and when you are placing them. And Alice, I'll just start reading the names out. If you feel a pull to somebody before me, then just shout out the name and we will go with the flow. How does that sound?
That's fine. Yeah, that's absolutely fine, Bill. Yeah.
Perfect. So we've got Cheryl Burdeniak who joins us. Crystal Gaidry. Nolene Defree.
I felt quite drawn to Nolene Defree.
Yeah, my legs started to go a little bit funny enough, when I read that name out. So shall we work with Nolene Defree? Lovely Nolene, who joins us from South Africa via Facebook this evening. So as you felt that initial pull, Alice, I'm going to let you start off with what it is that you're getting, and I'll see if I can blend in, and let's see if we can deliver a message to Nolene collectively.
Okay. I actually felt I felt drawn to Nolene, but as soon as the picture came up, I felt a gentleman step forward, and I felt more of a father in spirit world, a very jovial man that steps forward here, that I feel there would have been quite a few issues going on with him. I know the chest and the heart and the lungs was an issue, but I also know as well with him, he wants to really talk about his character. He's coming in, and this character is really strong. It's really, really strong. And I know he's bringing in here, he loved a good time. He loved, he's taking me to, he's actually taking me to a beach as well. And also I feel that he may have went to Chicago at one point, or why I'm getting Chicago around him. I'm also getting that as well. But he did take me to a beach, and I'm hearing that song. The sun has got its hat on, hip 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 hooray. But I feel that he had to put a hat on. I don't know if he was losing a little bit of hair at the top, or he just wasn't good with the sun in some way, but for some reason he's shown me this hat as well. He also, I feel as well with him that he was very light, very well liked. I also feel as well that he's with a younger man who's with him too. So I'm not sure if this is his son or your son, or son-in-law, but I feel there is another man stepped forward, younger than father, as he comes in here. So I don't know if any of that's making sense at all to Nolene. I know there's a bit of a delay, so I will, if it is, Nolene, will you just pop a wee message on and say yes, what is making sense, or no, what's not, because I'm not frightened of no's, because I'll just go back and ask who it is. But could be my dad and my nephew. That's absolutely fine, because I do feel here, and if you understand his character, I feel here that there is something about him as well, that he loved his life. He loved laughter. He loved to make people happy. But there was also another little side to him as well, where I feel a sadness at times with him as well. Okay. And I don't know if that was to do with his own health, because I feel that he felt a little bit hemmed in with his own health in some way. Everything does make except Chicago. Okay, that's fine. I was getting Chicago as well, so I'm not sure why. So could you hold on to that? And maybe perhaps even think, is there somebody in and around you thinking about going to Chicago, or somebody's been talking about it? Because I definitely got Chicago coming in with the same gentleman. So if you can maybe even proof maybe later on is sometimes just as good as having it here just now, because he did bring that in. I also felt with his heart and his chest and his lungs, I did feel that too. I feel he had 2 or 3 conditions going on with him as well. I feel as well that he did things his own way. I don't feel he kind of went with the rules of what doctors would have advised. I feel he did things his own way. And at times he talks about when his health was going down a little bit, he said, I could be a little bit awkward, but I didn't mean to be. Okay, I didn't mean to be. He's also saying about you, he's saying, it's nice to see the smile coming back in your eyes again, because for the last 2 to 3 months, things have took a change in and around you, Nolene, where you've just been feeling a little bit worthless in yourself, okay, and not understanding life as you would like it to be, because life to you, yes, on point with this character, thank you, because I feel with life with you, Nolene, you know, it is kind of black and white, you know, you're happy or you're sad, and then sort it out, okay, you know, but you don't like people in and around you giving you that feeling of making you feel low yourself, okay, and I feel somebody in and around you's been making you feel a little bit that way, okay, and your father is definitely closing in and around you as well. And you know, can I just say, he's just showed me an altar as well. It looks like a church that I'm looking at, very quaint looking church, an old looking building that he's taken. I feel it's up a hill a little bit as well, not a big hill, but it's definitely up a hill a little bit, and I can hear like where there would be bells ringing outside, really not loud bells, but I would love to go to this church myself. It looks beautiful, and there must be a meaning in and around that church with him. Okay, and have you got anything, Bill?
Do you know what, Alice? It's really funny because, as I said initially, when I saw Nolene's profile picture, my legs felt affected. My legs went all funny and wibbly wobbly on me. So I know that I need to be bringing that forward and connecting that in part of the evidence here, whether or not that connects with Dad or indeed that connects with Nolene in some way. But I do feel as though I feel compelled to want to say that I feel like my legs have just been taken straight from underneath me. So I know there's a quickness, there's a sense of wanting to acknowledge the impact with regards to not being able to use my legs as freely as I would have. And she's saying, yes, I have issues with my legs. God bless you. We will send healing your way there, Nolene. We will ask those healing angels to bring that forward and to place that around you. You have vein disease in your legs. God bless you, my darling. Thank you for sharing that with us so publicly there. I am getting somewhat a sense of being short on my breath here as well, Alice. But again, as I'm working in that energy with Nolene's dad, he makes me feel as though he just wants to pull me into present day. So I feel as though I'm just connecting and blending in with Nolene somewhat as well here, you would understand. So Nolene, there must be this shortness or this sharpness of breath with you where I feel that we've got to regulate this somewhat. You would understand that he shows me the sense of wanting to place one of those like asthmatic pumps that we would put into our mouth here. So I know that we need some type of acknowledgement here with regards to there being medical intervention and there being assistance and there being help being placed around you at this moment in time. But I certainly did get a great sense of wanting to tap into his character as you were talking about him, Alice, because I do feel quite publicly, I do feel quite free within the expanse of my mind. Saying that, I did feel that sense of closure or wanting to be somewhat closed in with regards to that later stage of his earthly life. Your nephew passed from COVID and he had the asthma. That would have been the younger energy that it was that was shared here as well. So forgive me if I've not got that bang on, Nolene, but I know I wanted to share that in some context there with you as well, my lovely. But, you know, Dad says to me now, it's almost time to be looking forward into these new chapters of one's life. We need to be putting a plan of action in place now, my lovely, because I do feel as though there's been some type of stagnancy where you've felt caught up or you felt as though you've been in some type of vicious circle and you've not been able to quite get out of that. So I want to give you a sense of focus as a gift from Dad here this evening. Make sure that you really, really tap into the strength of your own mind. And whilst you do that, pull on the strength of Dad's mind as well, because Spirit will always work with us. If we ask them, it's a 50-50 way connection there. So I know he will freely work with you within your mindset to get you to where it is that you need to go at this moment in time. And that is where I felt, Alice, when you was talking about going down to the beach. that's where I feel that I just want to place Nolene at this moment in time.
Yeah.
So it's that great sense of that getaway, wanting to take that time out and just recuperate and just take everything in that needs to be at this moment in time in order to give her that restoration that's very much needed. Yes, indeed. And thank you. You are so welcome, Nolene. So before we send your lovely dad back up into the realms of spirit along with your nephew, can you also understand, I feel as though I need to talk about Frank, or the name Frank, connecting in some way here, please. And you've been working hard towards refocusing as well. That's absolutely perfect. Let me know if you can understand the Frank connection name here, please, my lovely. And that doesn't always tend to be first names when I get them. So Frank could be in a surname here as well that he just wants to share and place around you at this moment in time. Now, before we send him back off up to the angels, as I say, let's see if we can get a parting gift. Alice, what do you feel that you can share with Nolene? Freddie was her dad. Perfect.
Freddie was her dad, and Frank's my dad.
What's going on here?
I'm not surprised he's coming in.
Let's see if we can give Nolene that parting gift, God lover, before we send these beautiful souls back off to spirit. You know what I'm getting placed on my tongue at this moment in time, Alice? Remember, as a child, and you probably won't remember it because you're only 21, but remember those flying saucers? Oh, sorry, 20. So they used to be called flying saucers. They used to be like a wafer paper that had a sherbet centre. He's placing the ting and the sensation of that. So I want to share that with you, Nolene, at this moment in time, and hope that that resonates with you as a memory link connection. Take that with the love that he places with you.
Can I share something? I'm seeing a red rose, and I can smell the rose. I can really smell the rose. So I can smell roses, and it was just a single rose that I can see, but it's a smell. I can really smell the red roses.
How lovely.
So I don't know if that means something to you, but I certainly know it's for you, though, Nolene.
Lol, I think
I can take that in my song.
Oh, bless you, Nolene. Thank you so much for allowing myself and Alice to conjoin and share the love of your dad and your nephew with you here this evening. She's just saying, oh, wow, I'm placing love hearts up there as well, Alice. So I believe that that's in response to your roses. There you go. Oh, lovely for the roses. So we'll leave their love with you, Nolene, and we will move on to our next viewer. So producer Richard, would you please randomise the comments again? That was a lovely connection, wasn't it?
Wasn't it? It was really nice. Yeah.
And this energy of this Frank, as he's connecting here with me, you know, I'm very boyish with my character. In fact, you know what? I know how to gate crash. He makes me get a great sense of understanding. I know how to I know how to party. That's what he's just dropping into my head at this moment in time, Alice. But I feel as well that I need to acknowledge the sense of looking forward to celebration and parties here, and know that, you know what, make sure that you leave a seat at the table, because I feel that's very significant as well. There's always a space that's left for Dad, you would understand, when there's celebrations. So there you go. He's gate crashed our live tonight, and rightly so.
Can I say something, Bill? Before we came on, I was a little nervous, so I said, oh, Dad, well, show me a sign that you're with me. But I didn't expect him to do this.
Well, I've got him in the living room, so I'm sending him back into yours.
Come to
me. Right, who else have we got here? You're welcome, my darling. We've got the lovely Alice Buchanan.
Oh, yeah, Haley Goodman. Yeah. Hi, lovely connection.
The lovely Raven Adams. Hello, Raven. Now, she was on Debbie's show last week and absolutely phenomenal. Richard Dearden. Again, Alice, you say a few of the names because you might get a sense and a feel again of, who it is that we're going to work with.
Yeah. Sarah Wheeler. Hi, Sarah. And there's a red rose. Would absolutely 100% love a reading. Haley Louise Singlehurst. Hi to everyone.
Matthew Owens. Craig Hunt.
Crystal Curley.
Tracy McDowell.
Tracy McDowell.
Yeah, I feel Tracy McDowell here as well.
Yeah.
Can we go back to Tracy McDowell, please, Producer Richard?
Mm-hmm.
As I'm just blending into my awareness here for Tracy, Alice, I get a great sense of me wanting to acknowledge bone aches. Bone aches all being placed throughout my body here, in being impressioned. And I do get a sense of needing to acknowledge a very, what I perceive to be dominant feminine energy just blending in with me here. I do feel as though I want to go into a mother link connection here. So if I'm not with mum, Tracy, I'm definitely with mum's mum. Spirit side, you would understand. But there's a sense of just this density within my bones that she's placing, making me feel very achy at this moment in time. So I know that I'm just acknowledging this would have been a sense of how she would have felt prior to her making her transition back home. Spirit side there, you would understand, my lovely. She talks to me straight away about this beautiful profile picture that you have on Facebook that I'm seeing of these beautiful, vibrant, yellow sunflowers. So I know at this moment in time she's connecting me into that colour with a sense of wanting to place that around you, my lovely. Yellow for me is always a connection with regards to upliftment, just placing a sense of upliftment and wanting to pull you upwards and onwards. I feel as though as she works with me, I feel compelled, Alice, to want to say to you, Tracy, we're no longer going back there. So there's been some type of dynamic change that's taken place around you would understand, my lovely, where you've got to a point of knowing within your own mind that you're no longer prepared to go back there anymore. We're onwards and we're upwards as we're moving forwards here. I do know with her as well that she just gives me a great softness as she holds my hand here as well. So I feel as though this is important to acknowledge with regards to this sharing of holding the hands. And again, for me, it always takes me to that last stage of their earthly life before transitioning spirit side. So I want to acknowledge the holding of hands, but I want you to know that I'm also holding your hand during this time of what I'm depicting to be need. So that's where I feel that I've just tapped into that message at this moment in time, Alice. May I hand over to you to see what it is that you've got?
Yeah, I agree with you. I feel I've got a grandmother. I feel this would be mum's mum, perhaps, but I feel very strong around mum's side, and I feel grandmother here. But I feel, Tracy, you would have known her. I feel that you would have had a good relationship with this lady, and as and as she blends in with me, she talks here about you're going through a trial of trust at the moment, and she talks about some tears that's been getting in around you and some hurt and pain that has caused this to you, that has kind of knocked you off your feet a little bit. So she is bringing that in, but she also wants you to trust. She wants you to trust that things are getting better, okay? And not to give yourself such a hard time. I feel that the grandmother I have, I feel would have been very much a lady that you would have called to, who you could have sat and you could have trusted what you said to her to go no further. I also, I'm not sure where this name would fit in, but I was getting an A with a lady, and as I looked into it a little bit more, I'm sure she said Audrey. Now, I'm not saying Audrey is your grand's name, but there's something about Audrey or something odd then going on in and around you, but I keep hearing that name coming in. But I will go with the first thing I did get, and I did get the name Audrey. So I don't know if you can understand that in and around with somebody here, okay? But I did hear that getting said. And I also know as well that your gran is also wanting you to remember back to September, okay? There's something about September for a birthday, anniversary, or a passing, but to remember back to September. And she's also said, wipe those tears away, because whoever this was, and I'm not opening it up because we're live, she just said, isn't worth it, okay? And she also said, you can do better. There's some beautiful things coming for you. There's some lovely things coming for you. And she also makes me aware of 2 children. So I don't know whether it would be 2 grandchildren or 2 children in and around you, but she's making me aware of that as well. And I just feel she does, like Bill says, it's like with the sunflowers as well. I feel this is very strongly trying to uplift you. And you know, if you can find some sunflowers, I'd put them in a vase and just feel that upliftment coming from your gran. Can I also say as well, there's a perfume called Sunflower, and I'm seeing this, and it looks like it's got a yellow lid as well, and there's something about the smell of that perfume Sunflower that she's bringing in. So I don't know if you wear this or not, or you know someone that does, but I can honestly see this perfume of Sunflower getting shown to me just now. So I hope that makes some sense to you, Tracy. Okay, and please take your gran's love, okay, because she is very strongly around you, and she's also given me pink. She loved pink. Okay, so she's giving me pink as well. Okay.
That's really strange that you've just gone into that colour connection, because I keep hearing her saying to me, look at the colour of those pink and purple lights behind Alice. Okay.
Oh,
and
yeah.
She's taking my, and I feel as though, just as a parting gift here for Tracy, before we send her communicator back up there to spirit, I get a great sense of Tracy, and let me know if this relates to you, my lovely, but I get a great sense of there not being a vast amount of expanse outdoor space, but I know that I want to be placing all of these beautiful little coloured lights in an outside space for Tracy at this moment in time, because I feel that this is a great area where she actually gets a sense of unwinding. And I do feel as though, you know, nighttime is the best time for her as an individual, hence the reason why I'm being shown the twinkle of the lights there. But she brings that forward for you, Tracy, with regards to just giving that as a gift or giving that an acknowledgement. But I don't feel that I've got a great expanse of an outside space as well, you would understand, because I get a sense of wanting to be sat upon a balcony. So whether or not you live within an apartment where there's a balcony, or she would have done, that's where she places that within my mind. So I'm going to leave her love with you. We're going to send her back off up to the angels and say, God bless you, and thank you so much for giving myself and Alice the opportunity to connect with you this evening.
Bill, do you know what I just got there? As well as you were talking about that, I got the Northern Lights as well.
Oh.
I got the Northern Lights as well. So I don't know if you've been and seen the Northern Lights just recently, or you're talking about going to see it. But when just it came straight in when you were talking, I got Northern Lights, okay? And I just felt that I was getting made aware of that there from your gran. All right, my darling. Okay.
How lovely.
Thank you, Tracy. Thank you.
Thank you, Tracy, for allowing us to work with you. So don't go nowhere, guys. Please do continue to share us out there. Let's see if we can get as many shares as we possibly can from this evening's show and beat producer Richard's record, which I think is probably exaggerated between you, me and the lamppost. But keep sharing us out there, guys. Let's reach as many people as we possibly can. And please tag your family and your friends. We'll be back in a moment. We're just giving you a heads up of what's coming on to the channel tomorrow and this coming week. See you in a moment.
Okay.
My Spirit Life is a free online interactive magazine for those who have an interest in improving their spiritual lives. Authors can upload images, videos, and audio clips to their own articles. The public can place comments, rate the article, and follow the author. All articles are vetted before being published. For more information and to place your own article, please visit myspiritlife.co.uk. My Spirit Life is a free online interactive. Join Debbie Romero and guests tomorrow from 6 p.m, offering spiritual guidance, support and readings. Around the Table with Neil Bryan, this starts from 8 p.m. tomorrow night. Join Neil for a live debate and thought-provoking evening with guests.
And we are back. Thank you for holding space, guys, here at Spiritual Psychics TV and your fortnightly edition of Collective Consciousness. So that's what we've got coming up on the channel tomorrow. Tomorrow, 6 p.m. UK time, we've got Transcend with Debbie Romero. And you might see a familiar face who's streaming live right now on her show tomorrow as well. But I'm not going to give too much away. You've got to tune in because there's a great lineup of guests for tomorrow's show with Debbie talking about all things spiritual and paranormal. That's it. I can't say no more. Sworn to secrecy. And then we've got Neil at 8 o'clock with his show Around the Table. So please, please, please do join in and join us here at the channel tomorrow, 6 p.m. UK, 8 p.m. UK. And if you're watching from overseas, I'm really sorry, but I don't have one of those brains that kind of like can work out what the other viewing times are. But if you look on the channel's website, you'll be able to obtain all the details that it is that you need to do so. And whilst I'm talking about SPTV, this coming Sunday, we've got something really super and exciting and brand new for the VIPs, for our VIP members, our very important peoples. There is going to be a Zoom link for all of our VIPs with an experiment. I can't say no more. But it's an experiment and it's going to be absolutely phenomenal because producer Richard was telling myself and Alice about it before we come live, and it sounds fab, doesn't it, Alice?
It really does. It does. Yeah.
So VIPs, you don't want to miss out on that. And if you're not a VIP and you're really intrigued and interested, again, to become a VIP, go to Spiritual Psychics TV and online, and you'll find all of the relevant details with regards to signing up. So, Alice, shall we see if we can make a few more connections with some of the lovelies that are here tonight?
Let's go. Let's go.
Absolutely. Producer Richard, would you please be so kind to randomise the names? Thank you. And keep sharing us out there, guys. Tag your family, tag your friends. Let's break his record because he's laughing in my ear at this moment in time. We can't be having that, can we? Jan Burnham is saying, welcome back. Thank you, Jan. John Frost Healing Videos. Hello, John.
Okay. Diana, hello all. Craig James, evening everyone. Sandra E. Michelle Arthur, needs something to make me smile again, please. Oh, bless.
Michelle.
Okay.
Patterson.
Michelle Arthur, maybe go back to.
Do you feel work with Michelle? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
What you got then, Alice?
Let me smile again, please. I actually felt I do feel this sadness actually with Michelle, but I felt very drawn to a gentleman coming in who was quite close to Michelle. I feel as well that he feels like I think this is an uncle I've got, but let me just go a little bit more with him. I feel with him as he comes in that he would have been a man that you wouldn't have stepped your toes on. You know, he said, you know, what he thought, this gentleman, but he was quite the root of the family. I feel that, you know, he protected the family and he made sure everybody was all right. He didn't always like what he said. You know, people would maybe think, oh, he overstepped the mark a little bit there, you know, but you would always agree that what he said was right. Okay. And I feel as he's coming in here as well, I felt it was an uncle. At first I thought it was a grandfather, and then it moved and it shifted to being like an uncle. I also get the name, and I know it's a popular name, but I do get the name John, and I'm not sure if that's his name or not, or there's an associated around that name. I also feel as well his passing, there was a suddenness with his passing. There was something quite quick with his passing, Michelle. But I know as well that he was the force of looking after everybody and making sure everybody was all right. And I feel as well, Michelle, that he talks as well about a son. So I don't know if it's his son or your son, but he's talking about son. And he's also talking about dwelling conditions, so some sort of housing condition at the moment that's not right. It's just not... I don't know if this is you, Michelle, but I feel there's something to do with the house. It's not right. It's needing sorted in some way. And I feel that your energy is quite low in and around where you're actually living, and also where you're working at the moment. I just feel you've got one thing going on top of the other at the moment, Michelle, and you kind of don't know. You've been saying to yourself, what's the point? Do you know? But there's every point, Michelle, because you're here for a reason, and you're here to learn, and you're here to learn and grow. And this is something that's going on just now, and I know it's hard, but it will pass. Okay, and you will get stronger with this. And I do feel a very sensitive soul with you. Okay, and I know other people would maybe take that as a little bit of, they would maybe think that is a bit of weakness, but it's not weakness. It's actually pure love. You've got a beautiful, sensitive soul. So don't ever think that's weakness. Be yourself. Be yourself. Be yourself. Be you. Okay. Don't let the outside influence of other people pull you down, darling. Okay. Because I just want to say you're worth more than that. All right, and you will get that driving force back again, and you will get that power back. And I know this gentleman that I have, I don't know if this is your mum's brother or a brother-in-law, but I feel I'm on mum's side here with this man. Okay, so I don't know if that makes sense to you in any way. I hope it does. You can leave a comment and let us know, but I just know here that it's this man's very strong around you, giving you that power of strength. Okay, and I also get the 7th of April. There's something significant about the 7th of April in and around you as well for a birthday anniversary or a passing, but I definitely got the 7th of April. All right, okay, all right. And this gentleman's just said there's somebody around you that's not been able to knit because they can't see properly, and that there's holes in this knitting, so he laughs at this. So you'll know who he means by that, you know, because he just laughs at this as well. He wants to bring in a bit of laughter to your life, and it will become, yes, you understand, because it will be coming. Okay, darling, it will be coming. But he is in and around everybody. He's in and around everyone. But you're not on your own, so stop feeling you're on your own. Okay, you're not on your own, Michelle. Okay, darling, you're not on your own. All right, I don't know if you've got anything, Bill.
Do you know what, Alice? My mind stopped. I saw a gentleman's name called Craig, and I had a gentleman's energy that just stepped in beside me, and he's not left me. but I feel that you needed to give that message to Michelle, and rightly so. What a beautiful message that was. So I don't know if there's anything else you'd like to add into that before I get producer Richard to scroll through and find Craig for me, please.
Okay, that's fine. I'm just all the love there to Michelle. Yes, my Uncle
There
John.
you go.
Yeah, thank you. Bless you, darling. Bless you. I can smell lavender as well, so I know that and I'm seeing a lavender plant. Okay, I'm going to give you that. Okay. Okay. Free of charge.
Oh, bless you. Thank you so much, Alice. That was such a beautiful message. I got a great sense of wanting to connect with Craig when I saw his message come up. He said something about readings, how nice they were. And I had a gentleman that just stepped in beside me, and I do feel very paternal as this gentleman makes himself evident here to me. I do also know now that Lisa Snyder has just popped her comment up that I've just had a lady step in for her. So Lisa, don't go nowhere because I'm coming to you also. But focusing with regards to Craig, I've got this paternal energy. Now, this gentleman, he makes me feel as though I want to stand quite tall here, Craig. He makes me feel as though I want to fit into the dimensions of being a 6-footer or just a fraction off of that height. And I do know that he likes the sense of me sporting a convertible, you would understand, my friend. So I know that he's just giving me a sense of acknowledgement with regards to that lack of hair here. I do feel as though I've got more of a dominance as it's just being shown to me around the side of my head going in towards the back. I want to take a tan particularly well with this gentleman, or I'd love the sense of me just wanting to be outside in the sunshine. So whether or not that connects in with you, my friend, or indeed with he, I know he wants to share this at this moment in time. But he also talks to me with regards to there's no longer any need for a sense of looking for acceptance here. And he makes that very evidently clear, because I know that as he talks to me with regards to his own morals and his own morals and his own values, I get a sense of him being quite a dominant figure and him being set within his particular ways, okay? And he just gives me a sense, now that I've gone spirit side, all of that has been kind of like shown to me. I realise what it is that I've acknowledged of maybe not accepting or being perceived as not doing my best when I was here on Earthside, but I'm acknowledging that now that I'm spirit. He also shows me the sense of just wanting to bring a bright shining star into my line of sight. And I feel that I just want to be placing that around you at this moment in time. So you would understand, Craig, that life for you at this moment in time is going in a perfect order and direction, because it gives me a sense that you're just blooming, you're just blossoming, you're shining in this context that you should be. I know with him, before he passed to spirit as well, that he just gives me a sense of wanting to be drawn into my stomach area, because he makes me feel quite knotted here as well. So I know that there is discomfort, or indeed this is an acknowledgement where the condition would have sat that would have taken him spirit side there. I also know and feel that I want to be moving forwards and acknowledging the month of October that would connect in some way to a birthday, an anniversary, or a passing that would connect to he, you, or indeed the pair of you there as well, my friend. And I do get a great sense of heat being placed upon me. So I know that I acknowledge that there was some type of infection also evident before he transitioned spirit side there. But whatever it is that you're doing at this moment in time, my friend, keep shining brightly, because he gives me a great sense of wanting to be incredibly proud of you, and giving you the acknowledgement and the understanding that maybe I couldn't have shared those words when I was Earthside, but I certainly know how to do it spirit side there for you. So that's what I'm going to leave with the lovely Craig. I don't know if you've got anything that you want to add in there, Alice.
No, that's fine. I think that's gorgeous. It's beautiful reading there.
Perfect. So Craig, take the love and the intent that message has brought forward for you, and I'll say God bless you and thank you so much for giving me the opportunity of connecting in with you. Now, Lisa's name popped up, and as soon as Lisa's name popped up, I had a lady that just stepped in here, but she stands now in front of me, and I can see her. And you know what? I'm not on the large side of life with this lady at all, Lisa, you would understand. As she shows herself to me, I've got very thin, fine framed glasses, and I know I've got white hair with this lady, and she seems to kind of like want to push a side parting to one side here, and I know that it's quite short and well maintained as well. I'm very colour coordinated with her because as she stands in front of me, everything that she's wearing is very much in tune with each other, you would understand. I do get a great sense of wanting to wrap somewhat of a mother's love around you, but I don't feel want to acknowledge her as mum, you would understand. So she would have been somebody who was very significant with regards to that motherly instinct, intuition, or that sense of just wanting to wrap that motherly love that you needed. And I hope that that's fair for me to share on a public platform, and I hope that you can understand it. She also places the initial B into my mind at this moment in time. So I know that B sounding name connects in some way to this lady as well, you would understand, please, Lisa. And I do feel very fatigued with her as she worked with me. So I know that I acknowledge that there was a process to this lady's passing, that there was a change to the dynamics of the structure of her frame, and there was that fragility that set in before she made her transition spirit side. But I'm very much a free spirit, she says to me, Alice, at this moment in time. I'm very much a free spirit. So I don't know if she was somebody. Yes, Barb. Thank you, Lisa. How wonderful. And you would understand, Lisa, that she would connect in some way like a motherly influence, because that's the way that she just blended and connected with me. You can take that, which is perfect. Absolutely great. But I'm a free spirit, so I know that if she gives that information to me, of course, she's making me want to like race here. She's really building my energies up. I know that as I connect into that, that I feel she was some type of a spiritual influence to you, or gave you the foundations and the understandings of your own spiritual awakening, awareness, progression, transition. Would you also be able to take that for me, Lisa, as well, please? I know as well with this lady that she gives me a great sense of the love of the outdoors, mother-in-law, God love her, bless her. I know I've got a great sense of the outdoors, and I know that I've got a vast amount of space that she wants to place in my line of sight at this moment in time. So I feel as though the home or the foundations of her home would have been quite remote, you would understand, with lots of green space that she just wants to show me as well. But she also, in that context, now wants to flip the coin and give me a sense of wanting to acknowledge desert, or like Nebraska desert. I don't know why I'm feeling Nebraska or wanting to connect Nebraska in some way, but would you please also be able to understand that information also? Okay, my lovely. Just before I hand over to Alice, if you're happy to join in on this message, that is Alice, I just want to get a sense of just sharing. Now, say that to me again. Okay. You know, she very much embraced you like you were her own. She very much embraced you like you were one of her own. And I feel here as well that there was a great sense of compatibility with regards to your awarenesses between the two of you. And no, she says to me, I know that she will continue to work with you now that she's spirit side. So you must feel her essence, you must feel her presence around you, and know that she's with you, but know that she's sharing that here with you this evening, my lovely. I'm not getting the sense of her sister being there at this moment in time, Lisa, but as I hand over to Alice, who knows what it is that she's got at this moment in time. So I'm going to hand over to you, Alice. Lisa, I'm going to leave my love with you. Say God bless you, and thank you for letting me work with you.
Okay, thank you, Bill. It's funny because before you said Barb, I was getting the name Barbara. I kept hearing the name Barbara, but I also could see this lady as well, and I can see her wearing like a two-piece suit okay, a skirt and a jacket, and I feel that she would have been very well dressed. I also feel as well with her too that she liked dancing, she liked music and singing, you know, she liked all of that. She liked things that were musical, you know, so I felt this was quite strong in and around her, and I feel the music side of things is quite strong, not only in and around her, but also you too. And it's like she's trying to say to me to get back doing the music, get back listening to the music, and back doing the music as well. So I feel you must play a piano, or there's an instrument that you would play, but I did see a piano, so I will go with what I received there. And I know that she's just bringing in that part as well. I also felt as well that she took great pride in her looks, this lady, and she says, will you stop looking in the mirror and saying things to yourself, okay, because you're perfect the way you are, okay, and don't be changing anything. And that's really all she wants to say to you, Lisa, okay, with just that so much love there with you as well, okay. So I'll leave you with that, Lisa. Okay, and I hope that resonates and makes sense. I hope that makes sense to you.
Lisa saying, I'm at a Monroe retreat and she came in yesterday for the first time, so huge validation, love music. Do you know what else she's just thrown into the mix here? I don't know why this is just coming so random, but like, I want to go canoeing or rafting. Lisa, is this something that you're thinking about doing or that you do? Why is she giving me a canoe or like going rafting and like going down? I'm going down this rapid river at this moment in time. So whether or not that's something within the physical that Lisa you're wanting to do, or indeed symbolically, she just places that within my mindset and going quite rapid. I feel that I just want to place a. Thank you so much for letting myself and Alice connect with you here this evening.
I'm sorry, I just feel that I feel as well, as soon as you said that, I felt my head spin with that, and I just feel Lisa needs to slow down, because she's just going, whoa, rapids in Colorado. Wow, huge, Carolyn. Fantastic.
Perfect. But also take that within the symbolic sense that we've both tapped into intuitively there for you as well, Lisa. And with that, we will leave our love with you and say, God bless you. Thank you so much for letting us work with you. Shall we do another one?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to let you talk now, Alice, because I kind of like dive bombed too there. So I'm sorry for putting you on the spot.
Right.
Hey, that's how spirit work. And we've got a beautiful Debbie from there, bro.
Hello, Debbie.
From US of May, saying hello. Hello, Debbie. I'll see you tomorrow. Can't wait to be on your show this time at 6 o'clock tomorrow, UK, guys. Make sure you join. Right, over to you, Alice.
Okay. I actually am quite connected to I was connected to Debbie Kerr there. I felt that pull really there. With Debbie, I actually feel your mother drawn close to me just now. If she feels like mum to me. If she's not, then she was like a mum to you. But I feel the lady I have. I feel that she talks about a diabetic condition and also a cancer link as well. So I know this lady didn't have diabetes, but she talks about somebody here who has diabetes. She also talks about herself, and I feel there was a cancer condition associated in and around her. She makes me feel quite nauseated as well. I feel that she was in a sick bed and she was getting cared and she was getting looked after, and I just seen sheep. Random sheep there as well. I just seen random sheep there, and I know I'm getting drawn to wool as well with this. I also feel that I feel as well this lady would have liked the outdoors when she was fit and well, but she wasn't able to do this latterly. But I also, as I seen the sheep, then after that I got the wool as well. So do you remember the I don't okay, I'll just give you what I just got there. I got, and I don't know where you're from or anything, but I got the Edinburgh wool shop. So I don't know if there's a memory to the Edinburgh wool shop, but I definitely got the Edinburgh wool shop there. So there's something about that memory there that she brings in as well. So can I just say, I just feel just now that she wants to let you know that how so okay.
Debbie, can you just let us know, my lovely, if you're still with us by giving us a little bit of feedback there through the comments section, because that will just allow the vein of the message to continue to grow. So please do let us know you're still with us, my darling.
Yeah, because it is weakening a little bit. So yeah.
That's all right. We'll give her another 10 or 10 seconds or so to respond. But sometimes, you know, Alice, we have people that dip in and out during the live streams.
Sure. Okay.
So what I would say is maybe wrap up the message so that it's there, it's on playback, so should be tagged by anybody that's maybe joining the live, she can watch it back at a later time.
Okay. I feel the lady's actually coming in very, very strongly, because she's also saying there is a health condition going in and around Debbie at the moment. Okay, and she's just she's just bringing in that she's needing some strength, some healing at the moment, and she knows about some clinic visits as well that's been coming up. So she is in and around her, and you would have some of her ornaments, she said as well. Okay.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, okay, so I'll leave you with that. All right, Debbie.
Bless you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So guys, it's really important, if we work with you, that you do give us that feed. You do let us know that you're still with us, just so that we can continue to work through as many of you as we possibly can. But I know I'm very conscious that we are at time. So I said to you, didn't I, Alice, at the start of the show, as soon as we start, it'll be over. And sure, we've hit 15 and we are being called to time. So Alice, once again, thank you so much for coming on to Collective Consciousness.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's been an absolute honour to be able to work with you. I admire your work, and you know, I often watch and look and see the things that it is that you do. So guys, please do make sure that you give Alice's Facebook profile link a like and a follow, please, please, please. And if you live in Scotland, guys, check out that summer fair that Alice was talking about at the beginning of the show. So just before we wrap things up here this evening, we'll just do a few more acknowledgements there, Alice. We've got the lovely Linda who says, thank you both, great work.
Oh, thank you, Linda. Jacqueline Hill, blimey, I ain't stopped pushing my hearts. Love you both. Thank you so much, Jacqueline. Bless you, darling.
Thank you. And we've also got Jackie Lewis who says, what great messages from you both. Thank you for a great evening. Thank you, Richard. Well, thank you, Jackie, for most importantly being one of the lovelies that's held space here and shared us out there to all of your personal pages. We really, really do appreciate it. And without you guys, you know, sharing us out there, loving and liking what it is that we do, there wouldn't be no show. So lovely Glenda Marie is saying to you, Alice, love to see Alice when I go to Scotland.
You come and visit me then, okay? We'll have a chat.
And Michelle Lewis Thomas is just saying she's new here. We appreciate you holding space. So guys, it's been a wonderful evening. Alice, once again, thank you so much for being a part of this evening. It's been lovely to work in your energies. But until you guys, you know what I'm going to say, until we all meet again, May the love and light of spirit be with you always. And don't forget VIP night this coming Sunday, 8 p.m. Details on SPTV Facebook page and also the website. Love and light to you all. Take care until we meet again. Bye-bye.
Bye.